Alright, hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the series where we answer the question, what if Germany won the Second World War? In part 7 of this video, we'll be kicking things off on the 20th of June 1940. Fresh off the back of the victory and the defeat of the French, we'll now be conducting the operation that never got off the ground, which is Operation Sea Lion, or the invasion of the United Kingdom. The battle plan is as follows. We've got actually 10 German divisions making the initial invasion. One from the Calais region moving through into the Dover area on the English shoreline there. Another 5 divisions moving in off Normandy in to the area next to Portsmouth. Whilst that naval invasion is underway, we'll be moving in 3 separate paratrooper armies, dropping about 4 to 5 divisions in these areas behind the ports or behind the coastline to give our invading naval forces a chance to create a beachhead from which we'll then shift the majority of our divisions and also a full panzer army into the UK. Our goal will be to drive in and take London as fast as possible and move and sweep north in the best Blitzkrieg as we possibly can achieve to capture all remaining victory points. The UK will only capitulate with all victory points in the island captured, so we must make sure that we get that done quickly. Right now, the weather is good on the invading coastline. There's no rain, no mud. The skies are clear in the English Channel. I've already deployed my fighter force mostly in the English Channel here to provide cover, and a small ticket here in the Southern England air zone with my close air support and some defending fighters. So, with the weather on our side, let's go ahead and kick off the invasion. Alright, so I'm going to hit fire here on von Rundstedt's army. I'm also going to order in these 3 paratrooper divisions to drop. Let's hit the play button. I will be micromanaging this invasion a fair lot, particularly in the early stages, because we really want to make sure we get it right and get this beachhead established and our forces over the channel, hopefully without too many casualties. I'm going to keep a close eye on our air superiority in the region. I know the British have got thousands of fighters. I'm not sure where they have based them, but they certainly haven't moved them in to counteract my force as of yet, but that's something we'll definitely have to keep an eye on as we progress. Alright, looks like we have dropped in 5 paratrooper divisions, which is brilliant. We will let that play out. So I'm going to start fanning out these forces now so that we can expand the area or expand the landing zone. Send one more up here to grab the airfield. Actually, no, we'll send that into Bristol. One north to grab the airfield. And another east towards London. Okay, these guys have dropped in. Looks like Dover seems to be undefended, which is a great opportunity for us to grab. Oh no, there is 3 divisions there. Let's not get tied up in that kind of battle. Let's see if we can throw them down here into the southern area and run up to the north. I'll send these guys to the east so they can link up. Well, actually, our other paratroopers will be able to create the link between these 2 armies shortly. I'm going to call off that attack. It's quite pointless to be attacking 3 divisions there. Well, looks like we've got 5 divisions in the LZ. That might not work too well unless there is a... Yeah, they're holding the port, so I believe there's some empty territory next to that port. No, there isn't. Alright, let's just back those guys up. What I'm actually going to do is see if I can pin these 5 forces down here while my other paratroopers move in. We should be able to create a nice pocket here of these forces, just trapping them in so that we can quickly destroy them. Okay, lovely. I am live streaming this one, this show, ladies and gentlemen. It does cause my computer to lag quite severely, so I hope that the playthroughs aren't too painfully slow to watch. Alright, excellent. My final paratrooper army has touched down. I'm going to send one division down here. Get them to move, actually, would be nice. I'm going to send one down. Looks like we've got an army defending Portsmouth. See if we can move them into this open land here, next to Portsmouth. I'll send one army to engage that division there in Portsmouth to hold them. And I'll send the remaining 2 northwards. What I'm going to do to simplify this zone is I'm going to combine these 3 armies now that they've dropped into a single leader, a single general, which will be suited. Alright, now that we've got just one large army here, what I'm going to do is just re-establish those battle lines and draw a new front line. Great. Alright, these 5 forces now are invading in off the coastline. I hope that we've got a chance here to beat them back. What I might do is divert one army here into attacking from the rear. Let's see if we can give them some help. checking with the Air Force, they seem to be holding air superiority for now, which is great to see. Do we need any more equipment here? I think this is the call sign for tactical bombers. We shouldn't need them. Alright, looks like we've turned the tide on this naval invasion. Hopefully we should be able to break through there any minute now. It's going to keep that paratrooper unit engaging these forces in Dover so that we don't have them shift their forces to counter my naval invasion currently happening. Hopefully they don't get wiped out. As a result, they are pretty low on resources and supply. Alright, looks like we made a little breakthrough here in the south, which is great to see. See if we can swing these guys into this Portsmouth landing area to secure that before the naval invasion moves through. Got a bit of resistance popping off there. What I might do is siphon off a couple of forces into my garrison army here, excuse me. Just throw out another 8 divisions for good measure. This stage, I'm not sure how successful my naval invasion will be on this side. I think my force coming in from the south will be opposed, or not opposed at all. Just going to keep committing this paratrooper division into Dover. I really don't want them to shift their forces out to counter my naval invasion. Alright, we're starting to make some good advances now to the English countryside. I'm going to keep moving them around. I've got an armoured division sitting in London, which would be pretty foolhardy of me to send a paratrooper division to attack them with no anti-armour. But if I can create an encirclement around London, that's going to be really good. So it looks like now that our infantry divisions have now landed, what I'm going to do is send these guys in to grab Portsmouth from us, or for us should I say, as soon as possible, so that will open up the port for us to then shift our forces in. What I'm also going to do is then combine Students' Army into von Rundstedt's, and then create a new battle line. There we go, that should cover it. It's like we're about to break through on my other naval invasion. Don't want to have those guys throw their forces out from the ports. I want to keep them tied down. So I'm going to keep on engaging them. Alright, fantastic. So we've now captured our first port in the area. What I'm going to do is send in these infantry divisions, see if we can help our other landing force here. It's currently being opposed. Alright, so first things first, let's get our panzer units over into this bridgehead. What I'm going to do is just assign the battle line to Rommel here so that he can move them through. And what I'll now do is also just Go ahead and delete these 5 divisions. I'll just redraw these lines so it's easy for us. Click that, and assign everyone to it to make sure they all get the orders. I'm just going to assign these 5 down to this bridgehead area to make sure that we don't leave our rear undefended. Alright, that should do it. Let's go assign some research while we're at it. Let's go ahead and upgrade our infantry equipment. You know, I'm going to disengage these forces. I'm going to throw them north. Considering that we already have secured a ports, wouldn't make any sense for us to keep on tying ourselves up here. Alright, fantastic. Looks like we are in the process of encircling London. So I'm going to start expanding this encirclement here. And these 4 forces that are moving out, I'm going to try and get them to cut off this encirclement. I think that they should have enough punch to get, so they just have one single armored division here in London, 3 tanks. It's pretty unbalanced force. I think we should be able to punch through them, in all honesty. Let's just move up into that area, see if we can cut them off. Right, our panzer armies are just about to make landfall. Right, I'm going to commit these infantry divisions in here. Let's see if we can start to push those tanks out of London. Yeah, I think we should have them. Still multi-pronged attack. Alright. The Panzers have landed, which is brilliant. What I'm going to do is, let's get these guys driving as far north as possible. I'm going to peel off a couple to the east and the west, just so that we can secure Dover and Bristol and Plymouth down here in our rear. Looks like we're not going to have a problem taking London. That should fall any time now. Excellent. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We have taken out London. So what I'm going to do is see if there's any pockets that we can start creating here. It's like we're about to break through in this northern sector. There's a fair lot of British forces that are tied up here that I don't want to get bogged down in. So I'm going to move these guys up and around to that northern breakthrough. I'll keep the paratroopers here to defend. I'll keep these motorized divisions trucking north. We'll see if we can force that breakthrough. Alright, very good. Expanding a nice wide bridgehead here. See if we can get these to move up now to Manchester. We have it, the fall of London. Reports from London confirm that the English capital has been captured by advancing German troops. Another victory for the Vaterland. Okay, what I'm going to do is bring our national focus towards Operation Weserburg so we can go after Denmark and Norway. We do have a small army garrisoned on the Danish border there, ready to execute, so we just need to get these war goals to allow us to make it happen. And check to see if that alliance with Spain actually allows us to ally with Spain. That would be nice. Doesn't seem like it. One thing I also haven't mentioned yet is our African theatre. We've been able, Italy were very generous to give us a large amount of forces here to move up from Ethiopia, and we've marched them all the way up to taking the Suez Canal. Rommel's force here has been driving through. He's taken El Alamein. It looks like we're just about to take Alexandria off the British and create a nice link up here with our forces that have broken through the Suez Canal. What I'm going to do is let's just clean up these port areas with Horst's little tank army, and I'll combine that in with Rommel's to make one army, and we should be good. Right, they're pretty much fine to run on autopilot. Leave my attentions focused down here in Britain. Alright, looks like we've taken Dover, so I'm going to throw my armoured divisions up to the north. I believe all of them now have got, or are, no, there's still a handful that are coming over the channel, so we'll keep those front lines assigned. So 18 divisions land here. What I'm going to do is get these guys to push through. I don't think we're going to need 18 divisions, 9 should cut it. And to get Plymouth, and these 9 here, up to get Bristol. I'm going to let the infantry take care of most of the mopping up work. I'll keep driving my panzers north here to this areas that we're having the biggest breakthroughs so that they can exploit it. Let's swing these guys into this open area. We might be able to now cut off the forces that are in this pocket that's forming up to the east of London. If we can press through up through Liverpool, then we'll be able to create a pocket of Wales as well, which will really help to tie down the forces. Excellent, so we're able to open that up. That's great. We'll keep those 2 forces there to hold it while we keep pushing through to the northern sector. What I'm going to do now, considering that we've got a couple of airfields on our side, is going to move up our forces to the captured airfields. That should do it. Don't want to overcrowd the runways. Alright, great. Those motorized moving north. What I might do is swing these panzers up into this area here, which looks nice and undefended. So you can push out the forces here opposing us, don't want them to cut off our advance towards Leeds. Still got some resistance holding up against us. What I might do is just peel off a couple more of my forces to the garrison areas. Let's get our factories assigned first. I think motorized is the areas that we have got the largest deficiency in. Oh, sorry, it's the ports that we're looking to gather more forces for. Let's get our sub-production back underway. I'll peel off just a couple more forces from the eastern front into our garrison. Add in 7 more divisions. Alright, making a nice breakthrough here in the north. What I'm going to do is swing that truck around, see if we can encircle this little battle here. Keep driving this guy north towards Manchester. I'm going to send that tank division up to get Leeds. It looks like Bristol is undefended right now, so I'm going to go in and grab that with my armoured forces. Right, I'm going to have to shift our air force up now to the northern sector. It's going to drop in this one fighter division. What I might also actually do is shift our move a couple up here. Let's shift our close air support over. I think we should be fine now with the English Channel. I believe the majority of our forces have now shifted over. Let's just see if there is anyone waiting to advance across the channel. No, I believe they're all there. Great. So what I'll do now is rebase my navy. Let's hope they haven't been wiped out in this fight. They've already rebased themselves for damage, which is fine. I'm just going to have them convoy escort in the Baltic Sea, so they're doing something. My naval vessels down here. What I'm actually going to do is I'm not going to have them go into this area because there's just too much British forces to oppose me. I'm going to do convoy raiding. They need to repair. That's okay. We'll let them repair. Alright, quickly fix up my military factories. I believe motorized is the areas that we need the most support with. Alright, so let's get some production going up there. Let's get our resources stockpiled up a bit. Let's check if our construction is going. Don't really need to bother about the radar stations anymore, considering that I'd say the invasion has gone off quite successfully. Alright, starting to make some huge advances here in the north. Let's keep playing it out. What I'm going to try and do is keep driving my tanks northwards to see if we can cut off this Wales area. Excellent. We've now created a pocket here, which is what we like to see. And it looks like Wales is about to be cut off with my advancing armoured troops to this northern area. Before I forget, let's just let our close air support units be assigned here. We've got all our naval bombers. There is quite a lot of fighters here in the channel, so I'm going to let them do what they need to do. There's quite a number of fighters opposing us here in the north, so what I'm going to do is actually, we've got 200 there, we've got about 300 opposing. Let's see if I can just balance out those numbers a bit. Alright, so I'm going to shift up this airbase into the UK. Just get my bearings here. Birmingham. Yeah, this is the one. Alright, and anyone who isn't assigned, I want them to be assigned here. Send this motorized, I'll send this tank into this area. Might be able to actually cut off that circle or create a minor encirclement there. Gonna get these guys to advance up and start closing up the land. Don't really want these British to be retreating out of the ports and reinforcing the northern area or anything like that anytime soon. Great, we've cut off quite a large amount of force there in the ports. So let's see if we can get that area tied up quickly. Keep driving these guys up north. Alright, I'm going to push these ones through into Liverpool. We'll soon find that we'll start getting bogged down, particularly in this northern advance, so I'm going to send up my mountain divisions up to Scapa Flow. They'll be able to push through a lot more faster than we can. We've now encircled all these forces in Wales, which is a great result. So now they've left this Norwich area undefended, so we're going to take that for ours. We're going to send this motorized and tank divisions to grab Cardiff. Looks like the British Air Force has finally woken up. They are moving in a lot of planes now. I don't really have enough to oppose them. They've got 1,000 there. How many am I down to? Got about 1,002. So what I'm going to do is pool all of my resources together and just throw them all into this northern sector. I'm actually going to leave the naval bombers here, but just not give them a mission. I'll reassign them later. Alright, so what I'm going to do is shift all of my forces here into northern England. So it's pretty much every fighter that I have. Let's see if that can help us turn the tide. Alrighty, how are we going? Just going to keep our armoured divisions driving to the north. Alright, we've grabbed Newcastle. Just make sure those ones just keep driving north into Edinburgh and Rosyth. Still getting a bit of resistance, so I'll peel off a few more forces into my garrisons. There you go. Let's check on the factory production. Just going to make sure our fighters are maxed out, because we certainly need the fighters, every single one of them. I'm not going to put another line. I don't think the British are going to be left much longer, to be honest, so we should be fine to keep the production as is. We do want to keep on working on our support equipment. Let's just get this line maxed out. Hong Kong has fallen to the Japanese. Actually, speaking of which, of Far Eastern maneuvers, let's check in how our Akrika Corps is going. Looks like they've got everyone, this last bit of British troops holding out in the rear here. So what I'll do is, let's combine House's army into Rommel's Akrika Corps. Let's get him to drive in and finish them up there. Then I will have them advance up through the Sinai into Syria, and probably go in and take Iraq and Iran to set me up for a southern invasion of the Caucasus when we go against the Soviet Union. Alright, so these armies have been cut off, and we'll now send them in to be destroyed. I've thrown a couple of divisions into Birmingham here. Let's see if we can take that. It only seems to be one division defending it. So we'll just hold up the line here so they don't reinforce it. Alright, these 6 divisions about to be thrown into the sea. Alright, looks like the only thing we have to get, is Scapa Flow. So we'll send in a handful of armoured divisions to grab that. We shouldn't be opposed with really anyone. And these divisions here should be more than enough to get that for us. So really the only other victory point we need to get, well, we've got Birmingham, so, oops, looks like our forces have been encircled there. Let's go through and force through the attack. I'm going to get these guys to break out. Well, I'll have them hold the line. We should be able to break them out here. Just make sure everyone's committed to breaking through to that area, which it seems like they are. Plymouth is completely encircled, so I'm going to go ahead now and finish them off. I'm going to keep my Air Force based here in the north. I might just peel off a couple of units. Just shift these guys up more towards the northern end here. Alright, I'd say at this stage, ladies and gentlemen, the British are pretty much had it. Very much due to the rapid advances of my armoured forces, we're able to keep pushing them back and back and back and create those very rapid encirclements before they could reorganize, which has certainly contributed to the downfall. We do have this little bit of encircled forces here, which we're going to try and break them out. actually get them to attack into the right zone. But I don't think that's going to be too much of a big deal. We should be able to smash through there without too much resistance at all. Forces in Plymouth will break any day now. Just make sure everyone here is indeed committed to the fight. Really all we need to do now is grab Scapa Flow, and we are forcing, looks like there's probably only 1 or 2 divisions left in the north to oppose us, so that shouldn't be too much of a problem for us. So to keep an eye on any territory in the flanks here, just want to make sure there's no British forces hiding away, waiting to pounce on us. Getting a fair bit of resistance now. I'm not going to bother garrisoning the UK. Actually no, let's go ahead and start peeling off a couple of forces here for garrison work. Alright, those forces have now broken out, which is great, and we have hit everyone into Plymouth. To minimise casualties and equipment loss, I'm probably not going to force or do much more advancing into this sector here. I mean, we may as well keep pushing it, because if we're able to, when we take Scapa Flow, I think we'll be pretty much sorted regarding the capitulation of the UK and hopefully the Allies as well, depending on really how much damage I guess we can inflict. So we'll keep on pressing the advance and see how many casualties we can inflict here. Alright, we've nearly moved into Scapa Flow. Just tie down this division here so we don't do anything sneaky in the back end of our forces or into our flanks. Funnily enough, our mountain divisions are advancing as fast as our motorized and tank divisions through this mountainous terrain. And there we go. The UK has capitulated. Adolf Hitler has announced that the cowardly British nation could no longer withstand the pressure from the overwhelming presence of the German forces throughout the country. The British government chose to flee the country and has gone into exile. Their main forces have capitulated. The German Reich is now in control of their home area through the war, though the war against what remains of the Allies continues elsewhere. This is a great victory for all of the Axis. Great news indeed. And we have indeed knocked the Allies out of the war, ladies and gentlemen. So that means the UK is defeated. France, all of North Africa now, or all of Africa will fall to the Allies, or sorry, to the Axis. The British Raj seem to be unaffected. We'll be able to finally get our rubber resources here in the Indonesia from the Dutch, and that may as well knocked out Canada and given us a couple of territories here, which will be excellent for our staging bases to invade the United States. Anyway, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. It is the end of Operation Sea Lion with a successful German victory. In part 8, we will be conducting the infamous Operation Barbarossa, the invasion of the Soviet Union. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, leave a comment, and subscribe for the latest Hearts of Iron content and World War II content from my channel. Thanks everyone. Have a fantastic day.